the thing is, I do believe there was talk about these things. I believe if we study history, the Confederates were able to shoot pterodactyls, back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online.
Google it
They
yourself.
spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It was a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
What I'm saying is Jesus wrote a dinosaur to work. That's history. It's in the Bible. How to Train Your Dragon.
Historical facts.
And if you don't believe it, do your own research. Pull up Google. You'll find the picture, I promise.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Gleason, Godless engineer, for gifting me this beautiful moment. Y'all remember when they tried to cancel Steven Spielberg for posing with an animatronic triceratops animal rights activist?
Back it up.
Hit it from the back.
Cloaca. Historical facts.
Eat my ass, BP. You're down here bailing on the rest of us because you don't want to process your grief and shame like a normal person by drinking and mistreating strangers.
No, Rick. It is you who must nibble my cloaca, or bird asshole.
Everyone knows what a cloaca is.
back in the Civil War, and they spread these things out. Anybody can look it up online. They spread these things out, and this is a historical fact. So, they spread this thing out, and it's got a huge winglet. It's a pterodactyl they shot. So, of course, these things have been around. Now, they went extinct, obviously, slowly, but surely. And so...
Paul Bunyan was sharing some Funyuns with his pet velociraptor.
Whoa.
Oh, you thought it was an ox? Roll back the clock. Let me knock the socks off. Historical facts.
I didn't cut out. You heard me. You a pervert or something? Okay.
What's up, heathens? How ya doing? I saw somebody ask in the chat, I think it was Tara Dickoff. Yeah, that's Zoomy this week. Tara Dickoff asked if I'm doing well tonight. I am. My voice still sounds a little bit rough. You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong. My voice does sound a little bit rough still, and I'm coughing a little bit, but it shouldn't affect us too much tonight. But I am doing awesome, and I hope y'all are doing awesome too. What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm the Godless Engineer, and I critically analyze apologist claims to give you the best arguments and information so that you can stand up and use your voice. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a video that proclaims that atheism is causing societal collapse. Atheism is apparently causing the downfall of society, and there are 3 reasons as to why it's causing the downfall of society. I don't know if you know this, honey, but society is getting fucked by atheism. All over the world. No? Okay, well, she disagrees. We'll have to see what this motherfucker says tonight. But if you want to fuck around and find out why atheism is causing society to crumble and fall, then please stay tuned. All right, heathens. Well, if you guys don't know, people that do super chats, are Skeptic Mafia members, or watch our videos, share our videos, comment on our videos, all of that helps us to donate to great charities. And I believe last month we donated to, you recall the charity name? No. I'll have to go back and watch the live stream. I can't remember exactly who we committed to donating to last month. I know it was the charity to help Black entrepreneurs. We didn't do it yet? Not yet. But I'm getting to doing the donation. But it's awesome people like Daniel M. who sent a super chat saying, David says good night. Good night there, David. I hope you have an awesome night and a great weekend. I know my weekend is going to be filled with a couple of things. Well, 3 things. Spending time with KC, obviously. Woo! Playing Starfield and getting the channel ready for the vacation I'm about to take. So I got a pretty full weekend. But Casey's going to be packing and doing a whole bunch of like tour, like she's doing her own tour thing of the vacation spot that we're going to. So I'm going to learn. It's just like 3 days straight of Today I Learns about Rome. It's going to be like 3 days straight of Today I Learns.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
From you.
You're going to learn so much shit.
And then we got... Sorry about that. And then we've got Tara Dickoff, who's been a member for 50 months. What the fuck? I don't know why you support me that long. Tara Dickoff says, it is my quest to have all the streamers I normally watch say my name. And so far it's working. Love you, GE. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Tara Dickoff. Am I pronouncing that right? Because I feel like I am. I feel if that's not the pronunciation, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. But it's awesome people like that helps us donate to the charities that we pick each month. This month, I'm not exactly sure which charity we're going to pick. But okay, last month there was Operation Hope. Operation Hope, you can check them out on Charity Navigator, but they help provide black entrepreneurs with opportunities to build their businesses and just help them in general get on their get on their feet and everything like that. We haven't picked one yet for this month. The vacation fund. This month we're donating to our vacation. That's not how charitable giving works. We hope that you'll give us money so that we can support businesses in Rome. No, we haven't picked a charity yet, but we will be picking a charity. Although this month it's going to be cut short because there are like the last 2 Fridays we're not going to be having any live streams. I'm so sorry about that. But again, vacation. I've got the channel all scheduled up so that there's still going to be content, but we're just not going to be having our Friday night live streams for second half of September. And yeah, so sorry about that, but I hope that you guys will help us donate this month to whatever awesome charity we're going to pick. You can do that by sending in super chats. If you'd like to take part in tonight's live stream, you can send in a super chat, and I will read and interact with your super chat live while I'm reacting. And you can also become a Skeptic Mafia member. That also helps. We'd really appreciate any help that you guys can give us.
September's National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month.
Oh, okay. September's National Suicide Prevention Month. We need to do a donation to the Tater's gonna take to that because I've got a history with clinical depression, and I feel like that particular cause it needs as much help as it can get. So yeah, we will be donating to, I believe it's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is who we normally donate to for that.
I can't remember, but we can go look. It'll be some sort of suicide.
Yeah, it'll be a suicide prevention initiative to help with that particular cause. So if you want to help us do that, then please send in super chats like Elizabeth Richardson did, saying, "Here you go."
Way to hell.
Elizabeth Richardson says, "Here you go, giving to Casey's Roman Fund. Have a blast on vacation." Thank you, Elizabeth. Quentin Van Boomen says, "Sending in my weekly tithe. Is this a ticket for a plane, bus, or a train ride to hell?" You can take any method you want to get there. So I don't know what you prefer. Personally, out of all 3 of those, I would pick a plane. But, I feel like that could be taken multiple ways. I do not hope any planes crash at all in the fulfillment of the highway to hell. Just saying. No. Anyways, tonight we've got a full slate going for us. We've got Today I Learned. We've got some comments to address. And some of them are old, some of them are new, some of them are just on the internet. And then we've got Brosifa stopping by to explain some nature shit to us. And then we've got our our actual response video. Some jackass who's trying to tell us that we're causing the downfall of society, which is patently wrong, and you could even ask any of these large language models whether or not it's true, and you would find out how fucking wrong you are. Yeah, bitch. What? It did. It
Tater's
did.
gonna take.
Lucrezia Cosplay says, send in tithe for my B-Day since y'all will be away. Casey Fancy Italian Desserts Fun. She's making, we're both making tiramisu and pasta in Rome, right? Tiramisu and pasta. But since I won't be here for your birthday, Lucrezia, here you go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Lucrezia Cosplay. Happy birthday to you. I think I sound better when I'm coming off being sick. You don't know? Okay. Thank you so much there, Lucrezia. I appreciate you. All right, so let's hurry up and let's move this shit along. Let's get to Today I Learned. I need my ukulele again. Here we go. Perfectly out of tune. Today I learned. Woohoo! Just like Mario. Woohoo! Let's go! It's kind of weird because we're going to Rome and everything. Anyways, so first up, they are from New York, but it's like, let's go! They're Italian. It's me, dipshit. All right. Today I learned, every spot of urban green space counts. An international study of parks and gardens finds that even the humble roadside verge plays an important role in the environment and for our health. So anytime you see like little, things on the side of the highway or anywhere in an urban kind of place where, it's got some greenery in there, that's all very important. We got knee. You have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong. I sang and like our viewership dropped by about 5. Nee says, daggone atheist stomping our theocracy. Yeah, totally rude. It's atheists. It's very important. Any of those parks, gardens, and anything like that is very important. So be sure to appreciate those particular things out there. I know I do. I always love like Central Park or some kind of like natural park like that in the middle of a city. The juxtaposition of like buildings and everything like that to nature, I think is kind of, it's a cool juxtaposition in my opinion. Mm-hmm. All right, next up on Today I Learned, I think that you're going to enjoy this. Today I learned ciabatta bread, or ciabatta bread was created in 1982 by Arnaldo Cavallari. Zachary Lahaki says, here's for another beer on vacation. You have given me so many fun nights, so please enjoy yourselves, guys. Thank you so much there, Zach. Appreciate you.
Jesus loves the little children. Maybe a little too much.
Just a little bit too much. Jesus loves the children too much. Arnaldo Cavallari, a miller who wanted to give Italy its own bread to stop those fucking baguette imports from France. I don't know if y'all have tried to... I don't know if y'all have tried to speak French. I was trying to learn alongside Casey, but I fell by the wayside. But French has a lot of like, I mean, that's half of the sounds in the French language is I thought that was funny. I have no appreciation.
No.
I don't have any appreciation for the language that's primarily from France that threatened to monopolize the lucrative sandwich market in Italy. How fucking dare the French? Italian bread is better. Well, now I like the ciabatta bread. The baguettes. See, here's the thing. We eat Panera sometimes, and they send baguettes. But the problem with the baguettes is that like they're so like you've got to eat them right then. Like there's no saving a baguette. You don't save baguettes. You save a baguette, you've got a rock. I mean,
you use it for other shit, and you can use it to make breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs, or I guess,
Or croutons.
or croutons. I mean, I'm just saying you could probably take out a home intruder with one of them motherfuckers after a day. Like you just like, don't worry, I got the Panera bread, honey. I'll fucking knock them out. All right. All right. Then finally on today, I learned of the English Mozart, Thomas Linley, or Linley. Mozart called him a true genius and said he would have been one of the greatest, but he drowned in a lake at the age of 22, and most of his compositions were lost or burned in a fire. God damn. Like, holy fuck. That's shitty. Like, I hate that he pulled that particular card out of the deck there. I mean, that's like playing Oregon Trail and getting bit on the ass by a viper the second round. Or maybe catching that there dysentery and you shit yourself to death. Yeah. You think in those instances where they get dysentery, they're just like, all right, Junior, just hang your ass off the back end there. We'll get to a settlement sometime soon. Make sure you fluid yourself up, okay? That would just be nasty. It's like, who the fuck? Oh, they must have got dysentery. All right. So that's it for today. I learned. I hope that you guys learned something. I know I did. But now we're going to be going into, you know what we're going into? Comments of the day. We got some great comments. Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. I know. I'm standing up. I got all of the energy. My sugar is like fine. I mean, I corrected myself just enough earlier. Daniel M., who's been a member for 41 months, thank you so much there, Daniel, said yesterday David choked on a sucker and the teacher had to give him the Heimlich maneuver. He's okay and didn't end up having to go to the ER. Well, that's good. I'm glad he didn't have to go to the ER. I mean, those people will charge you out the ass for nothing. Like, you get an Advil from there, and that's $500. I was getting there. I'm glad that he's okay. See? That was the next thing I was saying. But I'm glad that I'm glad David's okay. David, if you're watching, I'm glad that you're okay, bud. I've been in similar situations where I didn't have to go to the ER, but I definitely, I think when I was younger, I ate ramen noodles a little bit too quickly, and so I had, had to give myself not really the Heimlich. I just, had to get it out. But anyways, all that to say, I know how you feel, bud. All right, so let's see. Let's get to this guy. Let's see. Rob Tebow said, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace on the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a baguette." I can see Jesus standing there like that, and then he pulls out the baguette, and it's just like a fucking like long ass like just stone, and he's like, "I may make croutons, or I may bash your skull in." Well, but I mean, I feel like baguettes are a lot like avocados. Okay, like you get a baguette, but if you don't eat it like in a timely manner or do something with it in a timely manner, it's gonna turn directly into stone, like it just looked at that Medusa. Yeah. That bitch that's like this. Oh! All right. So, okay. First up is Ben Zeisloft. Now, you might think, oh, this is just some random fucking dude on Twitter. And I mean, I guess kind of. He's obviously paid for Twitter, so he's a dickhead. But, for 1 month to see like, oh shit, can we really? And then we promptly stopped when we realized it wasn't a joke. Anyways, this is, he's a writer for the Daily Wire, and he's all like Christianed up and everything like that. He says, "I want our countrymen to be Christian. I want our legislators to be Christian. I want our media to be Christian. I want our universities to be Christian. I want our economy to be Christian. I want our culture to be Christian. I want our nation to be Christian." Yeah, you're sounding theocratic there, Ben. I'm not sure if you want the economy to be Christian. For one thing, that would introduce a flat tax rate, I guess. And that wouldn't be good for anybody. Well, I take that back. It would be good for rich folk. Because rich folk, they just got to pay that 10%, and then that's it. Like, they don't have to worry about anything else. But 10% of your annual income for a rich person, like let's say $1 billion, right? If you make $1 billion a year, you got to pay 10% in taxes. Yeah, you still got fuck tons of money. Like 10% of 1 billion is like, hold on, I gotta do math.
You could have done 10 million. You could make your life easy.
10, yeah, let's say you make 10 million in a year. For this quick fucking math right here. 10% of 10 million is, I still don't fucking
8 million. 1 million.
Oh, it's one. Yeah, you should. Okay, yeah. So it's 1 million. I guess. Duh. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyways, 1 million. So you still got $9 million left over at the end of the year. But 10% from somebody that makes like 50,000, right? That's going to significantly affect them like a lot more. Like there's a big difference between 50,000 a year and what would that be, like 45,000 a year? 10% of that? I mean, it's still a big difference is my point. But anyways, he wants COVID brain has GE. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's happened to me. But he wants everything to be Christian. And honestly, this sounds way more authoritarian than any leftist ideology that might be out there. Like, think of the most extreme leftist ideology, and I feel like this is far more fascistic and authoritarian than the radical leftists. And I really don't think that people would want, well, obviously middle-aged white men, they would love for everything to be Christian because it all works out for them. But it doesn't work out for everybody else. At least, most other people. So Anyways, thank you, Ben, for your thoughts, but you can fuck off now. And I can hopefully stop doing math. It's... Yes, I do have a math degree. But right now, I don't think that should be held against me. All right. Huh? What the fuck you say about me in percentages? She's over there shit talking me about my ability to do 10% math. Anyways, I love you. So anyways, all right. This next one's a comment from on a short that I get. I don't know what it is. Maybe y'all can help me understand this, but it seems to me like the YouTube Shorts algorithm has two pools of people. One pool is reasonable. The other pool is just full of floater turds. Okay? Like they're just, it's just a turd pool water is what that pool is. And this comes from the turdy side of the pool here. Nylon John 563 says, I really do not care what you think I want. Jesus said that you should pick up your cross and follow him. And that is why you were wrong. I am not asking you to surrender to him. Oh, well, good, because I'm fucking not. Jesus Christ is asking you. Well, God damn it, that's the exact same fucking thing. Jesus isn't telling you to do shit. You're doing it on your own and then blaming Jesus. You bitch. Thank you, honey, for reminding me. If you don't, then it is your choice. I personally do not care. Well, if you personally don't give a fuck, then why are you personally writing a goddamn comment on one of my shorts videos? Like, if you don't care, then don't comment. I hate it when people are like, I really don't care about this comment, or this video, but here is a fucking 10-page dissertation that I wrote in the YouTube comments, because YouTube will allow me to write a dissertation. It's sectioned out and everything like that with nice formatting and everything, but I can guarantee you I do not care. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But okay, so I get that you don't care what I think. They're Nylon. But there are some people that care, and for those people, those are the ones that I make content for. Obviously, you were not in the demographic for that particular short. Jesus said that you should pick up your cross and follow him. I'm not picking up shit. Not especially for Jesus. Jesus can get me a fucking pumpkin spice latte for all I care. I'm not picking up a cross. I'm not going to follow him. Like, Jesus was a dick. And I mean, I say Jesus is a dick because if Jesus is God and God is the same, you know, in the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, God's a dick. Okay? And Jesus being God, he's dick too. He's big old fucking chode is what he is. And so I'm not going to follow a chode like that. I'm just not. I'm weird. This fucking guy's weird. I don't care, but here are reasons why I do. And it's all Jesus' fault. All right, so do y'all know Stu Peters? Well, y'all should, because Stu Peters is one of those right-wing influencers that has a lot of following attached to him. And so, like, this is the kind of person that's influencing the people that vote in the elections. And it's a non-insignificant number, like, of people that he influences. And so Stu Peters says, we are designed in God's perfect image, and our DNA and genetic code is the signature of his masterpiece. Well, if his signature is the DNA code, his signature shit, and I can't tell. Like, it's literally like a doctor's signature. Like, your doctor says, And it's like the doctor just doesn't know how to write, never learned how to write. And it's just like, maybe if I just make a whole bunch of squigglies, they'll realize, oh yeah, that's Oxycontin. Like, I mean, me? Engineers have shitty handwriting? Yeah, well, I mean, that's because we prefer to type. Okay, well, if we need to get you information, we type that shit up in an email. Also, if we don't want to physically meet in a meeting, everything can be an email. Like, I can't tell y'all how many meetings I've been to, since COVID had like the restrictions lifted and everything like that literally worked better as an email or a Teams meeting. Like, I don't have to physically be there. You can just be on Teams and tell me what I need to do. Like, I'm just going to sit there, type, and work on my engineering shit, and you can just literally fucking call me immediately. That's it. But, I'm dedicated, so I go into work when they tell me to. So anyways, DNA is shit if that's God's signature. I'm just saying. Like, obviously, for a natural thing, like, it's amazing. Like, it's pretty awesome that nature ended up producing that. Like, that's pretty cool of nature. But if it's an all-powerful and perfect designer named God that designed that shit, he needs to go back to the drawing board. There are plenty of problems with the DNA and genetic code and all that kind of stuff. From a naturalistic perspective, it's awesome. From like a perfect designer perspective, it's fucking not. You could have done better, God. But instead, you decided to get all squiggly fucking with it, right? Anyways. Altering God's creation through a fake vaccine that changes your DNA is absolutely blasphemous. And now we're demonetized and our channel is going to get taken down. Oh. Anyway. Huh? Yeah, I know I picked it, but still. So the vaccine doesn't alter your DNA at all. The mRNA vaccines just have mRNA in it, which has no effect on your DNA. But people like Stu Peters don't know that. They can't look it up on Google because they think Google is run by the Illuminati, lizard, alien people. And it's obviously going to give you... Huh? Also known as liberals. Liberal media. So anyways, that's, he's saying it's absolutely blasphemous. Well, then blaspheme me the fuck up, Scotty, because I will take as many vaccines as people tell me that I should probably take. Because vaccines will help me stave off, diseases. Like, I would rather stave off the disease than, fucking do what Stu Peters says. And he goes, what the hell are y'all thinking? Now, I have to say, I love these added context things because obviously right here it says, based on the current scientific understanding and expert opinions, mRNA vaccines do not affect human DNA. They operate in separate cellular compartments and lack the enzymic machinery needed for integration into the genome. It's also just in the mRNA. It does not change your DNA. Your cells produce mRNA all the time. It's just using that existing mechanism in order to help you fight off a disease. That's it. Of course, people are going to listen to Stu Peters and be like, yeah, I don't want my DNA changed. I'm a pure blood. Meanwhile, they look like a hillbilly from the seventh circle of hell where they've been fucking their cousin, brothers, sisters all the time. As pure as the European patriarchs. That's not a good thing, by the way, in case you don't know. All right, next is Dude Desi 07, who says, not sure if you know this, but it's part of Jewish polemics against Christianity to argue that Isaiah 53 does not refer to the Messiah. Look up Rabbi Tove Singer. I thought there was an R in, is it Torvia Singer or Tovia Singer? Tovia Singer. Yep. I was wrong. There's not an R in his name. Okay. Well, no. So I get that. And it's been a long-held idea that that was an early polemic against the suffering and dying Messiah. But in actuality, we have evidence of it reaching back prior to Christianity existing. So the whole idea of a suffering and dying Messiah definitely developed in a pre-Christian time. And so while it was a later development that Jews started to use this idea as a polemic against Christianity, they didn't originally. Originally, the Jews definitely identified the person in Isaiah 52 and 53, the suffering servant, as a Messiah figure. And this is attested, throughout Jewish literature, especially in the Dead Sea Scrolls, as well as prior to that. Maybe look up more than what somebody might tell you. Some other biblical scholar out there. Bart Ehrman, I don't know who else. But yeah, that's a later invention. So this comes from Tickety Talk. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm on Tickety Talk over there. I'm on Tickety Talk, and you can find me at Godless Engineer over there on Tickety Talk. And this person, Melissa, not with an E, but M-A-L, like Mal Issa, says, dude, do you know what a dowry is? That custom is not specific to the Bible. You're literally so bitter you're incapable of reading text clearly. Now, this was on a video that I posted where I was talking about how the Bible has it where you can purchase women, and women were used to barter. Now, I didn't mean this as if to say, looky here, Israel's unique in that they barter with women, and you can purchase women with dowries or with money or anything like that. Like, you could purchase women. My intent wasn't to say that Israel was unique in this fashion. It was just that if the Bible is supposed to be God's perfect word, inerrant word, and actually the word from God, then the fact that you have it to where women can be bought with materials, money or other kind of materials, that's human trafficking. And I feel like having to explain this and why it's bad maybe shows that you should pull your head out of your ass. All right, next up, we got some climate change shit to deal with. So today I posted up a short. It was about climate change. Marjorie Taylor Greene basically said, well, in the last ice age, we didn't tax people to stop the ice age or to warm the planet. And the whole point was that the planet did it on its own. And so the current climate change can't possibly be because of us. And we can't be exacerbating it. And we also can't stop it if it's going to happen. And so we shouldn't invest any money in like green energy or in trying to prevent the coming climate crisis situation. I mean, we're already in a climate crisis, but and so that's a comment on here. This is major asshole, big time number one me. These are interesting. Like, I wish that YouTube had a call-in line, but people could call for help. It's like, what's your username, sir? So it's...
Woo! That's KC's money.
It's major asshole, big time, number one, me, all one word. I've had the same feeling for like Xbox handles and shit like that too. So anyways, Major Asshole says, climate change isn't real. If it were, the leftists in our country wouldn't want to give our money to China so they can build a coal-fired plant every month. Or if it's real, How come the socialist government in Australia just signed a deal to sell China millions of metric tons of coal? This is a Chinese psyop to shake us down and enslave us. And you lefty loser poss Jacobin solipsistic gormless Democrats are drunk on the Obama dick sucking. You know he takes it in the ass, right? From Michelle, right? I'm not going to comment on any kind of kinks that the former president might have. He likes to get pegged. I don't really care. I don't know why this has to matter in this discussion. This ultimately just comes off as major asshole looking majorly petty. But in any case, climate change is real. We have plenty of studies that show that we are exacerbating the problem. There are plenty of studies that show the effects of increased greenhouse gases in our atmosphere, causing our planet to warm up. And the inaction of the global community to slow down or prevent the coming climate crisis or climate catastrophe shouldn't be an indication as to whether or not climate change is real. Climate change can be real and people be inactive about preventing it. So this is a non sequitur kind of comment. But of course, I wouldn't expect major asshole big time number one me to understand this. Next up, before we get to the shitty ass science portion of tonight's show, we got RJ Level 1, who left plenty of comments, but this is the one I picked for tonight. He says, global warming was changed to climate change because global warming no longer fit the narratives. B. I don't know how that was supposed to end, but it didn't end coherently. So the public discourse did start with the phrase global warming, and then it did change to climate change. But that's because people started noticing that people were getting confused by global warming. And they mistakenly thought of it as just like everything's getting hotter all the time, because that's what they interpreted global warming to mean. But that's not what it means. Tara Dickoff, sorry, I forgot to address this earlier. Tara Dickoff says, just ensuring demonetization? You're welcome. Thank you, Tara Dickoff. It did change, but that's only because climate change seems to communicate that the climate changes. Global warming indicated that climate changes. I mean, the global temperatures are rising. And they keep getting hotter. That's why we're seeing like record hurricanes, record amounts of like tornadoes and hurricanes. We're also seeing 100-degree ocean water in some places. So I mean, the oceans and the earth is warming in general, but this warming is only like 1 degree Celsius, which takes a lot, by the way. It takes a lot to warm it that much, but it's still out of balance right now, and so it's got a whole lot more warming to do. What this causes is extreme climate events, which means not only extremely hot summers, but also extremely cold winters. And so we've been experiencing those types of climate change extremes in the past few years. I mean, just looking since, in the late 2010s and the early 2020s here, I mean, Texas froze over. Like, that's literally hell freezing over. I mean, I talk about hell freezing over here, and it hasn't froze over really here in Alabama for like, I don't know, a long time. Like, I remember being a little kid and there being snow around here, like a lot of snow around here. There has been snow, but it's been very, very minuscule amounts of snow in this area. So that's explaining that. Now, he goes on to say Leonard Nimoy, Spock, because we're uncultured swine here. We wouldn't know who fucking Spock was. That's the most insulting part of this entire comment, to be honest. did a documentary about the next ice age in the 70s. Go back to the 60s, and that nonsense has been spreading since then. And frankly, doomsday has been preached from the corners for thousands of years. Well, yeah, but not this particular kind of doomsday. Prior to this, it was all religious nonsense. This time, we're coming with fucking evidence about how we're fucked and how our kids and grandchildren and great-grandchildren are fucked. This is evidence, motherfucker. Stop the nonsense. Be good stewards of the lands, and quit this stupid climate hysteria. Be good stewards of the lands? Like, how are you going to say that, but also climate change ain't real? Like, your two ideas here are in fucking conflict there, Lovell. Climate politics / policies have killed more people than so-called climate change. Just stop. All right, I'd love to see the data on that. Please, show me. Where's the data? Where's the data on how many people have been killed because of these climate policies and climate politics? I'd love to see it. So, pony up there, Lovell. Love to hear your thoughts about this. All right, I gotta go and calm down for a second. Probably take some insulin or some shit. No insulin just yet. But I do have Brocephus waiting in the wings, so I hope that you motherfuckers are ready because y'all about to learn some shit about nature. Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Well, what the fuck you got me talking about tonight there, G? You didn't talk shit to me about this. You just came down here, kicked my ass out of bed, took my blankie. He did take my blankie. Go kick his ass.
I'll give it back for you.
Could you kick his ass first? Because that's what I'd really like to see is you kick his ass. Okay. You okay. She gonna kick his ass for me, guys.
Get back your blankie.
Yeah, and then I'd like a sandwich afterwards. Okay. Oh, thank you. You're sweet. Your husband's a dick, though. He could be, not so much of a dick to me.
Y'all are mean to each other.
I mean, I feel like I'm the real victim here.
Of course you do.
All right, well, let's do this shit. All right, just learn about the existence of Dracula parrots? There are fucking Dracula parrots? I mean, yeah, I know all about Dracula parrots. Okay. So these Dracula parrots, basically, this one's shown in the day, but he's obviously in the shade because Dracula parrots, they will burst into flames if they get out in direct sunlight. That's how Dracula works. Also, these Dracula parrots, I do believe, and GE gave me the same shit he had, so y'all don't worry about it. These Dracula parrots, instead of turning into bats, what they do is turn into emo kids. Like emo 20-something-year-olds. They just turn into them and they walk around places. And then it's like, if you scare them too much, they'll go, ah! And then they turn into Dracula parrots and they fly away. Also, in the middle of the night, they might sneak into your window and start sucking blood out of your neck. Yeah, I don't know. Have y'all heard of the chupacabra? That supposedly the chupacabra has that one hole that they slurp the blood out of the animals. It's actually Dracula parrots. So they've been masquerading around as chupacabra. They've been convincing people. They'll turn into the emo kids. They'll be like, yo, that looks like chupacabra to me. And then they convince people of a chupacabra looking animal. And so it's like, it's definitely not Dracula parrots. And then he gets scared and he goes, ah! And he flies away. Caw-caw! And then he just leaves. So that's what Dracula parrots are. This guy looks like he's pretty fucking scary right here. I'm sure, though, if you scare him enough, he'll turn into an emo kid, and he'll just go hide, and be all emo and stuff. Not to shit on the emo kids. You guys take it easy, okay? Make sure you get to whatever appointments you got. You get my drift. Anyways, so that's Dracula Parrots. Don't worry, cover your necks. They might suck a little blood out of you, but if you need a good talking buddy, you could probably scare them into turning into an emo kid. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's TED Talk about Dracula Parrots. I'm going to go and kick GE's ass and get my blankie back. Both Casey and I are going to go kick his ass right now so that he'll come back over here, okay? I just got to figure this shit out again. All right. Well, I'm going to go. Shit. I hit the wrong button. Anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope y'all have a nice night and y'all enjoy the response video that GE's putting together. What are y'all talking about again? How y'all are causing the death of society. Gotcha. They definitely are, those fucks. Luckily, she don't listen to me while I'm talking.
Side-eye.
You gave me side-eye?
Yes.
I didn't fucking see you through these lenses here.
Because you're wearing those stupid-ass glasses.
Oh, we got Polly Pockets who says, do the emo kids or the Dracula parrots sneak into your house to bite you?
Hey, just wanted to say
yeah,
you don't have to be a
question.
good person to get into heaven. You just gotta suck my dick.
So it really kind of depends. I mean, it's a personality trait. Some Dracula parrots might pose as the local emo kid, be like, hey, can I get some emo snacks from you? And, want to get into your house and get your emo snacks. But, other times they might turn into Dracula parrots in case you leave a window open or something like that. And they'll fly in and then they'll just suck, blood right out of your neck right there, just like with a little straw. What's an emo snack? It's the snacks that emo kids eat. It's like Scooby snacks, but for emos.
How are they any different than the regular snacks?
But I mean, they're emo snacks. I don't know. They're laced with antidepressants. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to head on out of here. I will see you heathens later. Shitty ass science. We're going to answer some science shit really wrong. Listen, that guy's a fucking liar, okay? His blanket's right in there. I was downstairs having myself a drink.
You didn't take it earlier?
I didn't take it earlier. All I did was go in there and be like, motherfucker, you're supposed to be on camera right now. He jumps out of bed and he's like, oh shit. And then he runs in here. So, I did not take his blankie. He's just trying to get you to kick my ass for him. There's a water. No, it's called sweat, honey. I'm sweating. I know it's a little weird because I don't do it that often. Okay? Luckily.
I know you saved your beer until after.
I did. I saved my beer till after he was gone. Boom. I got a beer tonight. Woo, off my diet. Elizabeth Richardson says, you said emo so many times I started hearing emu. It's an emu snack. I mean, I don't know, but I figured emu snack would be like beef jerky, but emu. Emu jerky. Tonight I am drinking the illustrious Bud Light Platinum. Are you liberal? Drink Bud Light because the other people won't. Anyways, Dracula parrots are pretty cool. They look pretty awesome. They don't suck your blood or nothing like he was saying, but anyways. Y'all ready for tonight's response video? We got another member chat. Olivia Williams. Well, Elizabeth Richardson's been a member for 36 months. Thank you so much there, Elizabeth. Olivia Williams says that hope you're not confusing emo and goth. That's a good question about the difference between emo and goth. I feel like emo definitely probably includes a lot more antidepressants than goth, because goth, as far as I understand it, goth isn't so much depressive and emotional as they just like dark shit. And they like that kind of genre, I guess, dark genre. Whereas emo kids probably have more medications. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't an emo kid. Limited Light says, is that a drink for emus or made from
You
emus?
have been blessed by Christ. Now
That's
go
a good
forth
question.
and suck my dong.
You know what? Emu snacks are actually Four Locos. You know what a Four Loco is? It's like an energy drink, but it's like alcohol. Mm-hmm. It was. I don't even know if they still have those. Anyways, we're going to head on over here. Booyah! No transition, just a slow fade. All right, so we are going to find out tonight how we're destroying society. Which is kind of funny, to be honest. I do have some notes that I took today. So, y'all are going to get some notes about the world as far as atheists and, technically secularism, like secular society and all this other kind of shit. This guy tonight's going to commit a whole bunch of logical fallacies. I hope that I can point them out as they come along. But there's a straw man fallacy in here. There's an appeal to consequences. There's a false dichotomy. There's an anecdotal evidence galore. There's an appeal to tradition, a hasty generalization, and an appeal to emotion in this bitch. So I hope that you can identify all these logical fallacies. I'm going to try to identify these logical fallacies, but I don't know if I'll be able to actually determine them. But I do have some pertinent information to share at opportune times. All right. Let's fire this shit up. Let's go. How are we destroying society there, random person on the internet that had 33 video views when I pulled this down?
Today, we're diving into a thought-provoking topic that's been a subject of debate for centuries: why atheism fails.
Why atheism fails? I don't think that atheism has ever really failed. Yeah, these people are fucking stupid. That's right, honey. Do you want me to turn on your mic? No, she didn't want to turn on the mic. I tried. Is it a robo voice? I don't know if it's a robo voice. It might be a robo voice. I think the robo voices are actually getting pretty good nowadays. But we'll just have to see if it's really a robo voice or not. But hopefully my voice isn't roboting. I don't think it is. Normally it's good. Anyways, y'all tell me if I've got a robot voice. Anyways, so atheism failing. I don't think that atheism has failed at any certain point. I think that it's definitely personal opinion and speculation about atheism failing. And I think that maybe some people have perceived atheism to fail to explain things enough for them. But as far as atheism failing in general, I don't see that. And I don't see that primarily because there's no good reasons to believe in God. And all of the reasons that are commonly put forward as a response to that statement are usually very insufficient. They just simply do not address the problems of theism or of the world, for at least enough for me to think that God does exist. And I think that, considering the relatively short lifespans of humans in general, I don't think that we'll ever, in my lifetime, have the evidence for God. But, I could be wrong. I try to keep my mind open about it. But let's see where he goes with his shenanigans here.
Now, before we begin, let me make it clear that this video is not intended to belittle anyone's beliefs, but rather to explore the limitations of atheism as a worldview. So, let's jump right in. Segment 1, the limitations of atheism. So, why do some argue that atheism falls short? Well, the first point to consider is that atheism, at its core, asserts a lack of belief in gods or deities. While this can be intellectually satisfying for many, it leaves some significant gaps in addressing key aspects of the human experience.
Well, considering that atheism isn't meant to address those aspects, it literally cannot fail. It's a lot like you sitting there watching a movie and somebody coming in being like, oh, well, you failed taking this science test. It's like, well, I'm not in school. I don't have to take a science test. And they're still like, but you failed it. Okay. I wasn't trying to take it, so I couldn't fail it. Like, it's kind of like begging the question, I guess, because atheism, being that, as he said in the video, it's a lack of belief in a God, or I don't really like that particular kind of phrasing. I generally go with they simply don't believe in a God or are not convinced of God's existence. They just simply don't believe in God. Like, that isn't trying to answer any questions. That's descriptive of someone's current state of belief or non-belief. And so it doesn't actually try to do that. So why would you foist this upon atheism when it's not? Atheism has never tried to answer those questions. Now, I think that we can answer those questions. Those questions are answerable, maybe not to this guy's, what he perceives to be standards. Maybe he can't find the answers that are satisfying for him, but that doesn't mean that you can't find answers without God. You obviously can.
Subpoint 1, the search for meaning. One of the primary areas where atheism can be seen as lacking is in addressing the profound human quest for meaning and purpose.
Well, again, this isn't atheism related. Atheism doesn't try to provide meaning or anything like that. So there's literally no way it can fail at doing that. But I feel like you can find meaning in your life without a God. And you have to figure out your own meaning. And this is the fundamental difference between a secular meaning to your life and a religious meaning to your life. When religious people, like, I'm guessing this guy who's arguing against atheism, so I guess he's a theist, or at least some kind of religious person in general. What they're trying to say is that atheists don't have my meaning to life, and their meaning to life in current, like, theistic religions is to just suck that God dick. Your entire life, everything you do, you should do for God and his dick. And that is the meaning to their life. And honestly, I feel like any meaning that I can come up with for my life, whether that be to just enjoy life or to do something specific with my life, it's going to be far more satisfying than thinking, well, shit, what does the magical sky wizard want me to do today? Oh, is it praise that dong? I guess I'll praise the dong today. Where's the dong? I need to praise the God dong. I mean, I don't find that to be very fulfilling. Even as a Christian, I wasn't like, how can I please God today? What's the one way that I can please God? Now, admittedly, you could call me a bad Christian or anything like that because I didn't have that in mind. But then again, I wasn't a jackass going around making these kinds of arguments. I wasn't going around telling people that you can't have a meaningful life without God, or that, you can't have any meaning at all without God. I wasn't doing that to people. I was just living my life the best way that I could. I was just being a good person, over there hanging out. I was Christian, but, ish. I say ish because I believe, but it's not like I was devout for any consistent period of my life. I mean, I would go in and out of being devoted, I guess you could say. You could call it devoted. I would go in and out of that, but ultimately, like, it leveled, like, I feel like it averaged out to just me existing and thinking, oh, God exists, kind of thing. But in any case, so I'm not this kind of asshole where I went around telling people that they can't have a meaningful life. So I really don't think that my criticism here would have really applied to me as a Christian, but it definitely applies to this asshole.
In a world without divine guidance, individuals may struggle to find a satisfying framework for understanding the meaning of life and their place in the universe.
I mean, I can agree that if you lose your faith, it can be troublesome to figure your place out in the world. Especially, well, I will say this. I think that it's wholly dependent on how attached to your religion you were, or how heavily indoctrinated you were. Sorry, I got a super chat. Ni has an FR. Is that supposed to be French? How you say you na 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 na? I don't know what the how you say you na 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 na. Oh? How you say oh na 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 na. Ew. I feel like it directly correlates to how indoctrinated you were in your religion as to shit. Do I not have notifications on? No, shit. Notifications were off. I'm so sorry about that, Nee. Your notification was up there, but I had notifications off for whatever fucking reason. I think I had to cut them off last time because of one reason or another. But anyways, so however indoctrinated you were, I think is directly relevant to how hard it is after you lose your religion to find your place in this world. Because I feel like if you're heavily indoctrinated into a religion and it's put into you for the longest time that God is the ultimate thing in your life. Like everything you do is to please God. All right. Like if you have that kind of mentality for a long time, I can understand, I'm not saying that you necessarily will, but I can understand how somebody would have trouble really finding their place in this world if they lose their religion. And so I understand that, but that doesn't mean that you can't find your place. Like, I think that it can be hard. I think it can be difficult for you to realize and accept that, you create your own meaning. And it can be hard to figure out what meaning to your life there is. Or like what meaning you can give yourself, or what you want to do with your life, or what do you want to accomplish in your life, or anything like that. Like, I feel like you can do it without God. It may be hard, but it can be done. But he seems to have this sort of hasty generalization about people that lose their faith as being without meaning, as being lost in the world, as not having any kind of path forward in life. And, people may feel like that at certain points, but you can definitely get to a good place without God. It doesn't require God.
Subpoint 2, moral framework. Another limitation of atheism is its potential to lack a concrete moral framework.
I disagree with this, obviously. While religion does have a moral framework sort of baked into it, atheism is just not believing in a God. So, yeah, we have to figure out our own moral foundation. Luckily, though, everybody does this. Even if you've been indoctrinated into a faith where they have told you what your moral foundation is, you still have a subjective moral foundation. And you know this because Christianity, at its foundation, as far as foundational teachings and beliefs and moral teachings, has changed over time. It's changed a lot over the years. And Christianity now is different than Christianity when it first began, or even Christianity prior to 1865. But it's still like subjective. You subjectively pick what items of God's commands, or what ideas in God's commands you want to follow and consider to be morally good. I think that in religion, you have an easier time justifying otherwise horrible shit just because of some theological teaching that's in your particular holy book. I think that it makes it easier to justify morally abhorrent things like slavery, that be chattel slavery or sexual slavery. It's rather easy to justify both of those things on Christianity. It's also easy to justify the subjugation of women. It's easy to justify a whole lot of horrible shit using the moral foundation of the Bible. And so that, to me, seems like a major drawback. Whereas on a secular worldview, a worldview without God, you have to figure out, well, is this moral or is this not moral? What's my methodology for determining between moral and immoral things? Moral, immoral, or morally gray? Like there's three particular categories whenever you're determining the morality of any certain behavior or action. You have to figure that out. You've got to figure out your methodology. You got to figure out, whatever criteria you might have for considering something to be bad. You have to figure those things out on your own. You don't get to just look at a book and have it tell you what to do. And some may see that as a drawback. I don't, because I don't have a problem thinking for my fucking self.
While atheists can certainly be moral individuals and adhere to strong ethical principles, atheism itself doesn't provide a universal moral code.
And atheism isn't supposed to. I mean, this is a lot like going to McDonald's and ordering a 16-inch pizza. Like, if you're expecting atheism to provide a moral foundation or an ethical foundation, then you're just looking in the wrong area. I mean, I don't go to Taco Bell and order a crumble cookie. Like, it's not what happens. I mean, sure, Taco Bell has some sweet treats there that you can order, but unless there's some kind of weird partnership between crumble cookie and fucking Taco Bell, I don't think you're going to be able to get a crumble cookie from Taco Bell. So why would you go to atheism, something that's just simply someone not believing in a God, or atheism as a demographic, people in general not believing in a God, and being like, well, where's my morality at? Where's my ethics at? I have no fucking clue where I am. I need an adult. Sorry, I just went down an ADHD path there for a little bit. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to expect those kinds of things from atheism when atheism was never purported to provide those things.
Many religious belief systems offer a set of guidelines and a sense of accountability that can be lacking in an atheistic worldview.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it atheistic worldview. I would call it a secular worldview. That's a little bit of a nuanced position. Secular just means without God. So a worldview without God would be a secular worldview. But also he's kind of confusing atheism with a belief system, as if there's like a holy book of atheism written by who's somebody that's not an old fuck that is also transphobic. Who's someone that does not fit that shitty bill that the general new atheist always fit. Seth Andrews. Let's go with Seth Andrews. It's a holy book of atheism written by Seth Andrews. Like, that doesn't exist. I mean, Seth does have books. Maybe that's bad, like, choice of person here. But Seth Andrews does have books. But none of his books are supposed to be like the holy book of atheism or anything like that. Like, he's literally got one about how Fox News made him think like an idiot. And so, I mean, these aren't books that are supposed to be the holy books of atheism or anything of that nature. But this guy is convoluting the conversation by comparing atheism to a belief system and saying, well, all these other belief systems, they have morals and ethics baked into it. Atheism doesn't. And it's like, well, that's because atheism isn't a belief system, you dipshit. Quentin Van Booven says the person who wrote this script must not understand what atheism is. It's like complaining a wrench can't take out a nail. We can make our own morals and meaning without religion. That's right.
Segment 2, Existential Comfort. Let's move on to another point. Some people turn to religious beliefs for existential comfort in the face of life's challenges, such as suffering and loss.
I mean, sure, some people do that, but this has, like, the route that he's going with it, which I guess maybe I'm jumping ahead in his script here, but I feel like the direction that he's going with it is that atheism doesn't provide this. That's what he's done this entire time. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because while there are some people that use religion to find comfort in in times of adversity or anything like that, it has the automatic implied assumption that atheism does not. He may explicitly say that here in a second, but he's already got this implied thing about how atheism doesn't do these things. And again, it's suffering from the same problem that we've already been complaining about, and that's that he thinks that atheism is supposed to when it's not. But if he's talking about a secular worldview, not, providing this for somebody, I think that that's just completely wrong, because if you have a secular worldview without any religion or any idea of a God, you would find other ways in which to deal with adversity. I've been in therapy as an atheist. You can find perfectly fine ways to cope with any kind of issues you might be having, and without God, without the need for God, by talking about your issues with someone that's a professional. You can definitely do that. But he wants to make it out to be like, religion provides this, atheism doesn't, so it fails. And it's like, well, if you ignore how people that are atheists deal with this kind of stuff, then yeah, you could make that argument. But your argument's gonna be shit until you recognize that atheists can deal with adversity as well, if not better, than religious people. Because, and I've used this before, this little analogy, I feel like religion, as far as providing this existential comfort or this ability to traverse adversity like he's talking about, I feel like it's in Adam Sandler's Big Daddy, where the kid vomits on the floor. The vomit is the mental health issues, right, or your adversity. And Adam Sandler has the paper, and he's covering it, and that's the religion. Religion helps cover the religion helps cover and hide, sort of, the mental health concerns, but they're still there. You still have to deal with them. Religion allows you to just ignore it and act like it's not there when it really is. Whereas, on the other hand, in a more secular worldview, you have to actually deal with the vomit on the floor. You don't get to just cover it up with bullshit. I mean, I guess you can. Anybody can use anything to cover it up, I guess. But my point is that it's a lot harder to justify that without religion or God. And I feel like it promotes the ability to deal with these issues head on and actually have a good chance of cleaning it up and resolving whatever issues you might have. Now, that's not for everything. Technically, I'll live with clinical depression my entire life, but it's become manageable. Like, anytime there's vomit on the floor, I know, oh, shit, vomit, gotta clean that shit up right now. Sometimes Casey helps me do it. But my point is that, you can have the tools to actually deal with the issues. But this guy's like, nah, just spray some God on that like it's fucking Windex.
The promise of an afterlife, for example, can provide solace to those who have experienced the death of a loved one. Atheism, by denying the existence of an afterlife, may be perceived as lacking in this aspect of comfort.
So I feel like the whole idea of an afterlife can be superficially beneficial to some people. Not everybody, obviously. But I feel like being able to acknowledge the people that are here, being able to know that this is the only life that we're going to have, and so you're able to, you cherish that life as you live it, and you understand that, if people die, they're gone. Like, you're not gonna be able to see them again one day. I feel
I'm on the highway to hell.
I feel like it can definitely enhance the experience of cherishing somebody while they're here. Like, I think that it can really help you refocus yourself, not on, oh, well, I'll spend eternity with them afterwards. It can really help you focus on the fact that they are here now. You are here now, and this is the only time you know that you're going to get. I feel like that can only enhance the experience. Nee says original difference between goth and emo was marketing. Boy bands weren't profitable anymore, so the labels put guy liner and arm warmers on pop punk bands. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know. You can tell I did not do any kind of research into the differences between goth and emo. I do recognize that there are differences, but I guess I don't really know exactly what those differences are. But anyways, so yeah, another thing to point out here, as we pointed out with every single thing on this entire video, atheism is not meant to provide this. Atheism is just a lack of belief in a God. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't believe in an afterlife. You could, I guess. Theoretically, everything's possible, right? But I don't feel like an afterlife is necessarily needed if you're cherishing and enhancing the experience of life right now. Like, I don't think that you need that. And I think that mentally it can help you to accept that somebody is gone and remember them for the people that they were, realizing that that's the only real way somebody can live on after you die is through the memories of others, through other people's good memories and through good things that you do in your life. That's how you can live on. I feel like that is so much more meaningful than just being like, oh, I'll see him again one day. Like, I feel like it's so much more meaningful the other way.
Subpoint 1, coping with suffering. For many, religion offers explanations for suffering and a sense of hope that suffering has a purpose or will be alleviated in the afterlife. Atheism, on the other hand, often confronts the harsh reality of suffering without the promise of divine intervention. Subpoint 2, dealing with mortality. Additionally, atheism doesn't offer the same degree of comfort when it comes to addressing the inevitability of mortality.
I mean, it doesn't address it. Well, obviously, we're talking about more of a secular worldview, not atheism. He means secular worldview, but he says atheism. Obviously, atheism doesn't have anything to do with an afterlife or anything like that. It's just whether or not a God exists. So after all that, I feel like a secular worldview can successfully navigate that particular topic. I think that it can definitely provide comfort to an individual. It doesn't do those things in the same way that religion does. But this guy has the automatic assumption, which it is a robot voice, by the way. It's definitely a robot voice. This guy has the automatic assumption that if you don't handle things the way religion does, then it's bad or wrong, or it doesn't handle it at all. That seems to be this guy's overall message, is that unless it's done the same way as religion does it, then it's wrong and it doesn't do it at all. And that's just a hasty generalization about these topics that we're talking about.
Many religious individuals, the belief in an afterlife can mitigate the fear of death, while atheists may face the existential challenge of accepting the finality of life. Segment 3, Community and Ritual. Finally, let's talk about community and ritual. Many religious traditions.
No, my throat's not hurting. It's just cough. So sorry. So community and ritual. Again, just because, well, first I have to do my normal boilerplate thing. Atheism doesn't provide these things. This is not something that's concerned with atheism. But I feel like at this point he's talking about secular community benefits. Nee said, at some point emo evolved into scene, which is basically tar and feather someone in random hot topic
I don't
accessories.
know if you know this, but when you get to heaven, your moral actions are not judged. You're only judged for believing in me. Thank you.
Jesus is right. Until they look like an anime character. That's what seen is? That's interesting. Okay. So anyways, nothing to do with atheism, but we are talking about secular community. And I feel like he's just totally not thinking about secular communities and how they provide the cultural stuff and the community, the support, the support frameworks and all this other stuff. Like, there are communities out there. Like, I'm sure that most people in the chat has a secular community in their area that holds meetings and, you know, that you can lean on, you know, at times. And if you don't have one in your immediate area, I'm sure that there are secular communities online. I know through Godless Engineer, I've tried to build a pretty decent secular community. I know that there are plenty of people that, you know, generally hang out together in our community here. And this community, portions of it, are part of other people's community. So, I mean, I feel like there are several types of communities out there. But again, it gets back to this thing of if this guy's thing, that if it doesn't do things exactly like religion does it, then it's bad and it doesn't provide these things. It fails on these points. And he's just totally ignoring all of the information surrounding secular communities and what benefits secular communities have to people in those communities.
Provide a sense of community, belonging, and purpose through shared rituals and gatherings. While secular communities certainly exist, atheism itself doesn't inherently provide the same level of communal structure and support that religious communities often offer.
Right, because atheism isn't meant to. Atheism isn't meant to. Atheism is only the lack of belief or the non-belief in a God or a somebody that's not convinced of God's existence. That's all atheism is. So atheism isn't meant to provide those things. So it literally can't fail at something that it never tries to do.
Subpoint 1. Social connection. Religious communities often act as support systems, offering social connections, assistance during times of need, and a sense of belonging.
And there are secular communities out there that provide all of those things as well. So he's just fucking wrong.
While secular organizations can fulfill similar roles, atheism alone does not naturally create these communities.
I mean, because it's not supposed to. I mean, it's a lot like saying the general idea of God creates those communities. No, the general idea of God does not create those communities. Like, a general theistic type of God does not inherently create those kind of communities. People in those communities create those communities and create those structures and create those programs. Just like in atheism, or not atheism, but in secular communities, people build those communities. People provide those services. People provide those things. So, I mean, there's literally no difference here. It's just that he is lumping in theistic community and comparing it to just atheism as a principle. And so he's not comparing apples and apples. He's comparing an apple to a fucking giraffe.
Subpoint 2. Ritual and tradition. Religious rituals and traditions can provide a sense of continuity and connection to one's cultural or historical roots. Atheists, in the absence of religious practices, may need to seek alternative means to fulfill these human needs for tradition and ritual.
I mean, I feel like there's enough tradition and ritual without God. Like, secularized tradition and ritual. Like, people create their own traditions. I mean,
you have been blessed by Christ. Now go forth and suck my dong.
For the shittiest secular community on YouTube. Thank you, Nee. Appreciate you, man. So people create their own traditions. Like in my family, we used to have the tradition of, like, everybody in this particular family, we get together on Thanksgiving and we have dinner. Like, that's not a theistic or a religious tradition. That's just an American one. Not even an American one. That's just a general people one to celebrate special days. And like, Gesundheit. And we have several different traditions that we do. I mean, here at this house, we've tried to develop some new traditions for Xander. Like every year on Easter, which I know, Easter. On Easter, we paint eggs because that has nothing to do with Christianity or anything like that. That's just like painting eggs on Easter because we live in America and that's what we grew up doing. That's what we're doing. So this whole idea that you need like these traditions, I don't think that you need these traditions, but people do develop these traditions without God. We hold these traditions all the time. And in fact, some religious traditions have become secular traditions because like here in America, Christmas is a very secular tradition, even though it has a lot of religious themes around it. I get that. But this whole act of buying a tree, buying presents for people, the having dinners and all that, like that's just become an American tradition. And not to say that America is the only one with the tradition. Huh? It's a global, yeah. I just meant it's just I guess secular would be a better, it's become a secular tradition. Not just an American tradition, because obviously people in other countries celebrate it too.
Hey, GE, this person just donated a whole bunch of money. You might want to give them some attention.
Elizabeth Richardson said, "You mean you aren't teaching Xander that Jesus shat out colorful eggs?" I mean, typically I'd say, well, here's where the rabbit shit out the egg, son. I mean, nowadays it's a pain, not a pain, but it's painful to get him to do things like as a family because he's 13 and all he wants to do is play fucking video games all the time, unless it's play Muffin Time. It's a fun game. If you haven't played Muffin Time, play it. It's pretty fun. That's the one game we've not had a problem like getting him to play. So, but anyways. The assumption that he's making here is that it's harder or you can't create these traditions on your own without a God. Religion makes it easy to develop these traditions, and this is some kind of instinctual need for humans. But I don't think that he's thinking of it in the same way that you should think about it, and that just being that humans in general create traditions about anything, and they'll continue to create traditions with or without God.
In conclusion, it's important to remember that atheism, like any worldview, has its limitations. While it may provide intellectual satisfaction and a rational framework for understanding the world, it doesn't fully address the human need for meaning, moral guidance, existential comfort, and community that religion often provides.
But I mean, atheism isn't supposed to do those things, which is something we've already covered. But also, just because atheism doesn't do those things or is never meant to do those things does not inherently mean that atheism has either failed or that atheism is causing a downfall to society.
The goal of this video is not to convince anyone to change their beliefs, but to foster a deeper understanding of the complexities surrounding atheism.
I mean, the complexities around these topics are complicated on occasion, but I feel like what he's done is he's just totally ignored any solution, any secular solution to these issues, just because they're not atheist solutions. Because I wouldn't call them atheist solutions, they're just secular solutions. But he wants to act like, because atheism doesn't do these things, it causes a destruction of society. Something that he didn't go over in the video, which he's only got a few seconds left, and I don't think that he's going to cover it. Let's listen to see what he says.
I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below and engage in respectful discussions with others. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our content.
I echo that. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and you hit that bell notification after you subscribe, and you stay up to date with all this shit we got coming out here that ransack the fuck out of talking points like this guy has. So he didn't talk about this. Let's actually go back to here. This guy didn't talk about this because it seems like it's actually a video about why atheism fails, but they titled it "Why Atheism Destroys Society." And so what I wanted to do was to do a comparison of secular societies compared to the United States, which is supposed to be secular, but has religion worked into a lot of different aspects of life. And religion can often sometimes affect like the quality of life, the laws of our country. And so I wanted to see what a more secular country looks like as far as destroying a society. And so, I found that France, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands, Japan, Estonia, Czech Republic, Australia, and New Zealand they seem to be a lot better off as far as secularity goes, or secularism goes. I don't know why I came up with secularity. But with secularism, they all seem to be far more secular than the United States. And so I wanted to compare and contrast some of these things. So what I did was I first compared Norway to the United States. And I wanted to see what metrics Norway exceeded or outperformed the United States in. And as it turns out, Norway outperforms the United States in healthcare, education, income equality, social safety nets, life expectancy, crime rates, like low crime rates, political stability, environmental sustainability, and happiness and well-being, which are all of the traits that are directly related to the society of Sweden. And I also asked about New Zealand and the Czech Republic, and they have some that are specific to their area. Like New Zealand has like access to nature, and I can only ascertain that that's because of the Lord of the Rings was made there, and they have access to like nature shit. But also New Zealand has this response to global crises, like the COVID-19 vaccine. They had an excellent response to it. But pretty much like the rest of it was pretty on par with Norway as far as being a secular society, and how New Zealand outperforms the United States. And then I was like, well, what about the Czech Republic? How do they outperform the United States? They too, in every single area, with the exception of access to public transportation. Apparently they have a lot of access to public transportation over there in the Czech Republic. So then I was like, well, how about we do the reverse? Let's compare the United States and see what the United States outperforms one of these countries in. So I picked New Zealand. Thought that was a pretty good one to pick. And apparently the United States outperforms New Zealand in economic size and influence, military power, innovation and technology, higher education. And what that means is just that there are more prestigious universities in the United States than there are in New Zealand. Which, I mean, considering the size of the United States and the popularity of the United States, I guess, that makes sense. But what the United States doesn't outperform New Zealand in is the access to education. Because while the United States has this higher education, it's not very affordable to a good portion of the populace. So there's higher education, cultural influence, just because everything's America, as you saw in this video alone. Diverse geography and climate. That's just having not nearly an entire continent, but going from one side of the continent to the other side of the continent. I mean, come on. Resource richness, immigration opportunities, and that's just everybody wanting to immigrate to the United States for some fucking reason. Linguistic influence And that just means that, English is dominant across the globe. And then scientific research and space exploration. And that's, just due to our massive size and everything. Sorry, I got a cough drop in my mouth. So none of those things actually do apply to societal health. Like, everything that the United States outperforms other countries in do not apply to the societal health of the United States. And so it's just kind of weird to think that atheism destroys a society when, in fact, the societies that are the most secular out there outperform the United States in every possible metric that could be used to weigh or to measure the societal health. Like, seriously, tell me, what does military power have to do with societal health? Other than, I guess you could say that it protects the society so it can flourish, maybe? But that's not how the United States uses our military power. Higher education. Sure, we got a lot of prestigious universities out there, but the population is drowning in debt. The population is not happy. We do not exceed other nations on well-being or happiness. I just don't understand why some of these people want to say that atheism destroys a society when it obviously does not. When you objectively look and compare societies and what each one outperforms, how can you seriously say that atheism is a net negative on society? It doesn't make sense to me. And it will never make sense to me until atheism actually starts being detrimental to societies, which I don't think that it will. I think religion can definitely hold society back. I think that religion in the United States has held society back. And in fact, as noticed recently, religion is one of the primary driving forces that's regressing our society back in time to a time when people were less free. So how can you say, how can you sit there and watch the clock turn backwards in America and forwards everywhere else and be like, yep, everybody else going down the shitter. We're circling the drain. No, I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. Dario Luna says Florida.
I don't know what y'all have heard, but donating is not going to make me stop. Fuck me in the asshole.
Dario Luna says Florida using PragerU in the schools is disgusting and horrible for the education system. Or I guess maybe that's supposed to be for the education system. Yes, it is. It's very bad. I've got a number of PragerU videos on this channel, but also there are some shorts on this channel that expose PragerU for the liars that they are, especially concerning climate change, especially concerning religion and atheism. Oh, man. Some Mr. Andrat said civil asset forfeiture. That's fucking shitty, too. That contributes negatively to the society, the well-being of the society. There's so many things that you could point out that the United States is so shitty at societally that it's no wonder other countries are racing past us in this aspect. It's crazy. Anyways, that's going to be it for the video tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you will, please go down below and let me know what you thought in the comments section. Do you think that atheism destroys society? Or can you read the words that are on the fucking internet that say that it doesn't? I realize how dumb that probably came off. My point is that there's objective information out there that literally shows that atheism does not destroy societies. But anyways, let me know down below in the comments while you're down there. And while you're down there, why don't you smash that like button and subscribe if you like live streams like this. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. But wait, don't go! Not yet. No, don't go. Because we got the Skeptic Mafia left some comments for us to go over real quick. And so I am going to get to them as soon as I can get them pulled up. People had a lot of feedback on tonight's video. I mean, just that there's more comments than have been normally. Anyways, let's head on over to the Skeptic Mafia stuff. If you send a super chat right now, I'll have to handle those right after we get back from the Skeptic Mafia, but I will address them. All right, first up, the Barely Bearable Atheist says, first of all, I don't think this guy knows what belittle means. But in a larger sense, I think he has a negative attitude. He's basically testifying to, what he's basically testifying to is the fact that atheism doesn't interfere with our ability to find meaning and purpose in life, doesn't interfere with your ability to learn moral principles, doesn't interfere with your ability to learn how to deal with unpleasant realities, and doesn't interfere with your choice of communities and rituals to participate in. Religions like Christianity definitely can't offer the same freedom. I agree, they can't. Next is Cue Ball Quentin Van Boven, who says, all right, it's been a minute. Let's see if I remember how to do this. I didn't watch the video all the way through. I watched about half, but I feel like I can sum it up in this. Why is this hammer unable to put this screw in the board? He is asking atheism to explain things that religion does when that is simply not what atheism is. We just don't believe in a God, so we will get our morals and meaning for life from something other than our belief system. GE, insert a generic shilling here if you would, please. Typically, for the Skeptic Mafia, we provide a podcast. I don't know if the Skeptic Mafia remembers the podcast, but at some point, we will be starting up the podcast again, hopefully being able to contribute to those like every, multiple times a month. There's that. One thing that you can guarantee is that you will be able to pick the video that we watch on Friday nights. So if you want to help us pick the video on Friday nights, definitely become a Skeptic Mafia member. And I wouldn't blame you if you waited till October to become a Skeptic Mafia member. Just saying. Because we've got one more week of we got one more live stream this month, and that's it. Torbjorn Lindberg says, as for next week's program, the reasons why submarines fail as bicycles. Long live the art of the non sequitur. Thank you, Torbjorn. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I got from it, too. I'm glad that we're all on the same page here. Next is Jonathan Nickel, who says, the first mistake... shit. Oh, man. The first mistake the narrator makes is to refer to atheism as a worldview. We all know it isn't, but I'll look at his supposed points. 1. Limitations. Atheism doesn't attempt to offer meaning or a moral framework. Those are answers that people are free to discover on their own. Religion merely asserts that it has answers to these questions. Does the narrator object to the search for answers, preferring instead to have them all presented to him, wrapped in a neat little bow? As for accountability, we are all accountable to each other. No God required. Existential comfort. The promise of an afterlife may indeed bring solace to some. However, I do not care to make promises I can't back up. I find more meaning in this life knowing that it is probably finite. If I told someone they would live on after their death, not only would I feel like I am lying to them, if they ever discovered that I wasn't being honest, that could cause irreversible harm to our relationship. Community and ritual. Whilst religion can offer a sense of community, we are all part of a social species and are more than capable of forming communities on our own. No religion required. This also extends to other groups or other organisms in the great ape family and other social species in general. If it's a social species, then you're going to form communities, you're going to form groups. There are probably going to form rituals. Even, chimpanzees and other great apes have rituals that they perform. They've been observed doing that. So there you go. At no point does the narrator even talk about how atheism supposedly destroys society. Clearly, the title of the video was nothing but clickbait. Thank you, Jonathan Nickel. I appreciate you. Tomato Ex Machina or tear on my dick off. I voted for slavery, so you guys can't blame me. Wait, I didn't mean it. God damn it. Well, anyway, ASCII time. Oh, and it's a Peter Griffin one. Oh, Peter Griffin with the long ass nails. That's great. Hold on, I'm going to let you finish. But before that, remember to lick that like button and all the buttons around it. Fuck it. Just lick the entire phone. KC is saying over there, don't lick your phones. Make sure you cover every square inch of that phone's surface. Hell, go ahead and lick the back of it too, just to make sure. And after you finish coating your phone in a thin layer of saliva, just remember the GE mantra. Casey is always right. I will listen to Casey. I will not ignore Casey's recommendations. Casey is God. And with that said, eat your goddamn fruits and vegetables and drink some fucking water. Well, I've got beer right here, but I got water right behind it. Liberalism. Ninjester says sarcastically, oh goody, an American flagged thumbnail. A fallacious definition of atheism. And the title says that it destroys a society? Surely this will be a well-reasoned and well-sourced argument. Well, atheism fails as a worldview, largely because it's not a worldview. It just isn't. Sorry to burst your bubble. Statistically, the atheistic countries seem to be doing better. Please cite the source for your beliefs. I think it's just pulled out of his ass there, Ninjester. What the fuck did I just watch? The points made no sense. I've seen Whose Line do a better job of keeping things on track throughout. Please do better, Mr. God's all-knowing. Oops, looks like your video is a great citation of his inability to teach his flock then. Thank you, Ninjester. Then we get Kevin Beeler who says, the reason why, fill in blank, is destroying society. And then Jonathan Hanchek just has all the emojis that you can get by becoming a mafioso, in case you're wondering. And he just says, why? They don't ever answer it in the video, but again, I don't think the video was made to answer that particular question. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We actually finished like early. We're going to be out of here, early tonight. That's great. Thank you, everybody who sent a super chat. Tara Dick off. I see. I put a my in there. Is the my? Maybe my could be the middle name, like Tara my dick off. Anyways, Jester says, good to see you again. Thank you so much, Jester, for stopping by and everything and watching the video this week. It's good to see you again, too. And, I had something in my eye, but now I don't. So we are going to go ahead and get out of here. I do have a surprise for everybody that hasn't already been told about this because you weren't in the live chat on Thursday. But Monday, we have a very special show for you. It's going to be a little bit long, 43 minutes. But I had a chance to sit down and talk about my problems with Bart Ehrman. So Monday, we've got me and Bart Ehrman discussing some contentious topics that I have with his position. I have a contentious... I'm a bit contentious with some of his positions on topics, is what I meant. So I am going to be, we're going to be having that out on Monday. And then later on in the week, we've got some more great videos that are going to be coming out. So definitely subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And Monday is going to be one hell of a ride. So I will see you heathens later. Don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. I mean, I've basically used my voice up tonight, so y'all go out there and use your own voice. Bye!